Kim here. I'm making a shaker card using my fuse tool. The fuse tool's already heated up, so I'm ready to go. I've got my ruler there, and I'll be using the 4x6 pocket sleeve or waterfall that comes in the bundle that I bought off of HSN. I'm going to be using the tip that has the rigid edges, and that will close up my pocket when I'm all done. And that's the pocket sleeve there, that's the 4x6. Now I've measured out the holes. I actually did use my Spellbinders circle dies for this. The larger one is 2x2, the middle one is 1.5 by 1.5, and the small one is 1 by 1. So I'm going to use my ruler, and I'm going to go ahead and use my black Sharpie to measure out those size of pockets. Now the top part of that is already open, so that's where I'm going to be putting the sequins in. This is an X-Acto mat that I've had for many, many years. We Are Memory Keepers does provide a glass mat that you can purchase if you want to purchase for the fuse tool. Each side of those pockets are already closed up. And it's kind of hard to see the pocket in the video, but it's there. So I'm going to just mark a 2x2. And this is not actually the quote-unquote proper way to use this tool as far as using it as a ruler, but it worked for me. It was right there. And I'm also going to be using it incorrectly when it comes to actually sealing up those pockets. So it's not a real good tutorial. It works, but there is the right way of doing it. We'll say that. This is the way that I figured would work for me for this particular project. So there's the 2x2. 2x2, I'm going over just about 1/4 inch so that I can make the 1.5 by 1.5. Putting a little mark there. Now the Sharpie did still smear a little, but you're not going to see it on this shaker card. And I'm going to line that up to where the top of that pocket is and going down 1.5 inches. And then going over to my mark and going 1.5 more. This is a great ruler, by the way. I can see myself using it for other things as well. Now I'm going to start from the right edge, and I'm going to measure out 1 inch. So I'm going to actually be using the sealed part of that pocket for part of this little shaker. I have made many types of shaker cards before, not many, probably 5, and I've never used my fuse tool, so this is the first time I've ever done this. So I'm going to take my ruler. This is the part where I'm telling you I was not using it properly. I was actually trying to find that black line in the open part of that ruler, and I was having a hard time doing it. So in this process, you'll see where I actually don't use the ruler at all. I do have the black lines as a guide. Now, if you're actually doing this for your pocket pages for your scrapbook, you're going to want to rely on this ruler to make a straighter line, unless you don't care. If you want to do it freehand, then you can do it freehand. So at this point, I'm just sealing up the side and the bottom. And then that's where my sequins will go into. This is a really fun technique. Again, I should be on using the sealer tool inside of that opening of the ruler, but I didn't need to go perfectly straight. That's why I chose not to do it that way, just for this purpose. And then I'm going to do my 1 inch by 1 inch. All right, I am done. All right, now I need to get my sequins out. There's a little bit of static in the air, so the sequins had a mind of their own. It's a very hot, windy day here, And static fills the air. This is for the bigger one, so I was putting a lot of sequins in it. The bigger hole, I mean. I got the sequins from orientaltrading.com. I didn't realize the bag was as big as it was. The picture didn't, I was kind of shocked, I guess I'm trying to say, when I saw the bag. I'm like, okay, I'll not run out of sequins anytime soon. Helps if I read the description. It would have told me exactly how big the bag is. Alright, enough of the sequin bag. Alright, so there we go. All my sequins are in. I'm going to get my sealer tool again. My little sequins were falling out. And I'm going to seal that up. And then in a minute here, I'll go ahead and pause the camera, clear off my little craft area here, and actually put the card together. Very, very cool. I love this tool. Just making sure everything's sealed up. We don't want the sequins falling out. Alrighty, I'm going to get the table cleared off and be right back. Alright, so there's my layer of my card, and there's my pockets. So I'm just going to cut around the very, very edge, right at the edge of where I sealed it, because that's exactly how I measured it. By the way, acetate that you would use for like a viewfinder, if you guys know what that is, it depends on how old you are, it does not work. Acetate does not work with the fuse tool. Alright, so I've got that trimmed. I'm going to trim that. Give that a little trim. And then I should be good to go. I'm using score tape. And I'm going to just go around the edges there so that my pocket will stay down nice and firm. One thing I do like about doing the pockets with this tool is that it's still thin enough that your card is not bulky. And I'm just finishing up. This will hold the pocket down really well versus glue. And I'm just quickly, oh, don't bark duckies, taking off that tape. And we'll put the pockets down. I'm almost done with the card. Thank you for being patient with this. And that's going to fit perfectly. I just held it up that way so that I made sure that none of the sealed part of it would show through. And it did not. I just wanted to trim it down a little bit. There was one part of it that was kind of sticking up, so. Alright, I'm just going behind again, making sure the sealed part doesn't show through. I don't remember what I was having problems with here. Oh, I think it was bunching up. Okay, that's what I think it was. Very, very cute. Of course, there are many, many techniques on how to make shaker cards. Don't have to have a fuse tool to do that. Now I'm going to go ahead and use my white gel pen and just do some stitching, faux stitching around those circles. Oops. I like the faux stitching when it comes to putting it on a dark background like a black or deep red or dark blue. It looks just as fine, you know, on others as well, but it's my preference to put it on, it's a, you know, more of a contrast, I would say. And I'm trying to go quickly, but my text messages, I will turn my phone off. I want to make sure that I do this evenly. It's not going to be messy because we are going to be exchanging these cards. And right there, I'm going to use my embossing buddy and my Lawn Fawn stamp set. And I'll have to leave the name of that for you because I don't remember. It's like Happy Everything or something like that. And my Versamark. And with these particular stamps, I remembered that you don't need to push down too hard. It just takes a little bit of an effort, not pushing down too hard, because then it spreads all out because they're thicker. And I can see the watermark just fine. Put some of that white embossing powder on that. And get my heat tool, let it warm up, and melt that beautiful embossing powder. And done. That's Stampendous White, by the way. Alright, so I'm just going to use a very thin line of this Tombow mono adhesive to put the strings, and ultimately these are going to be turning into balloons, to put the strings down. And you don't want to overdo the glue, because if the string doesn't cover up the glue, then you have this clear line that goes down. I don't prefer my cards to look that way. I like to cover up all that glue. And I don't have, there is no, that I am aware of, score tape that is thin enough that I can put that down there. And I'm just kind of, eyeballing what the measurements are, and then I'll trim that up. The red cardstock, I forgot to mention, is from American Crafts. As best at AC Mar, but I know it's American Crafts, and I got it at the Scrapbook Expo. But you can get it online anywhere. This is Recollections Twine. And I'm just doing a rabbit ear bow instead of using my bow maker, because I needed the bow to be really small, and the bow maker that I have does not make tiny bows like this. And I wanted to be able to adjust it. I'm using a glue dot, which I'm almost out of. I'm hoping that someday one of these glue dot manufacturers will start making paper that is of a different color instead of white, so that you can actually see the glue dot, because that's like the most frustrating thing. You can't find the darn glue dot. And I'm going to go ahead and make 3 bows. Now, this particular twine, if you have a lighter, you want to go ahead and just lightly burn the edges really quick, because it does fray easily. If you like the look of the fray, you can go ahead and keep it. Getting another glue dot. Now the glue dots hold down really well, especially when you're mailing something. I've had situations where I was using glue for twine and it didn't hold it. Score tape or glue dot worked great then. So I'm kind of excited to see what the other cards are going to look like from the other ladies. One more glue dot. Trying to find it there. There we go. Almost finished. Thank you so much. I'm just going to tie a little knot down there. I think it finishes off the card, so that those white, that white baker's twine isn't just, out there doing nothing. It's got to have some kind of decoration to it. And I'm cutting it short enough that I'm not going to cover up the happy birthday. One more glue dot right under there. All right, so I have this really thin foam adhesive. I had run out of the craft kind that I had bought, and I found this in my husband's garage. I was happy about that. So I'm going to be using that, and we're just going to go ahead and, give that top layer a little bit of dimension. All four sides. Now this tape is, I believe it's pretty old because it doesn't hold, or it didn't hold as well as, the regular tape that I would buy at Walmart or even Michael's or Joann's or Hobby Lobby or wherever. It's, just really old. That one piece there just kept coming up. He didn't want to stay down. And then this one didn't want to come up at all. So my suggestion to you is do not use old dimensional tape that you find in your husband's garage. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment, and I'll get back to you. Have a great day.